Hey guys, welcome to CreativeLive. We are here today with Apple Aperture 101 with Sara France. My name is Jim Katechi, and just want to let you know we're going to do about 10 minutes of pre-show before we get started with the content. We're just checking our mics and our video to make sure everything's working okay. So if you don't mind, you'll see a link right there at the bottom of your video player that says Chat Live with class participants. If you click that, it'll open up the chat rooms for you, and you can let us know whether you can see us and hear us properly. So we're going to just spend the next few minutes just chit-chatting before we get into the content, and I'm going to be talking with these three lovely ladies. How are you guys today?
Great.
Awesome, awesome. Now, Sara, Jessica and Rachel are part of your team.
Yeah.
And can you guys just let us know your websites, first of all? Jessica
Yeah,
and Rachel?
mine's www.jessicavan.com.
Okay.
And mine's rachel-j.com.
Fantastic. Now, while you guys are sort of in your own entities, you are also part of a team.
Yeah.
So I would like to talk to you, Sara, first off. How did this come about? How did you decide to form a team as opposed to being a sole proprietor?
So I decided to launch France Photographers really as it became kind of like a process. So it was just something that came out of necessity, I think, just with a lot of influx of inquiries and stuff like that. And I'd brought Jessica on to my team as my studio manager, and also she had been shooting with me. And it became this really like natural progression because I had started years ago. I had tried to do more of a team environment, and it just didn't work. It was forced. It wasn't the right time. It wasn't the right people. It just wasn't the right situation. So I felt like with Jessica that I had like finally cloned myself, you know, like the cloning process had begun. Sure. And so it
except for the hair.
Yeah, except for the hair, clearly. But it just felt really natural, and it happened, I felt like really just effortly.
Perfect,
almost.
perfect,
Yeah.
awesome. And Jessica, I heard there's a funny story of how you joined, so I'm going to let you start telling that story.
Yeah, I actually met Sara at a San Diego photography workshop. It was like a 3-day thing, and at the end you could go downtown and like learn from a professional photographer, and of course I picked her and just fell in love with her. She's so amazing, and I actually walked back like 5 blocks to my car to get my business card, drove back, gave it to her. I was like, if you need your papers filed, like I don't care what it is, just I want to work with you. And didn't hear anything back. And then months later, her Facebook post popped up that said she needed an intern. So emailed her like right away, full long email. I had blogged about the experience with her, sent her that link. And then she called me on her way to LA, and we had like an hour-long conversation. She's like, I don't want to talk to anybody else. You're hired.
Great.
Come in Monday.
Cool, fantastic.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And I think it's kind of funny on our side of on my side of the story, because I always tell the same story. It goes similar to that, but usually when I talk about her giving me her card, like that happens frequently. So of course, like I didn't follow up. I was just like, oh yeah, sure. And then when the posting came and she had sent me the long email, I was reading it to all of the team, and they were like, she seems kind of like single white female. Like
she's really excited.
She was so excited, and there was so much passion in her email. But I just knew that was exactly what I wanted. Yeah. Like I really wanted somebody who was so passionate about working with me that that would work out. And that was the intern program that she was applying for. Right. So she went from intern to studio manager to full-fledged photographer within like a year? Yeah, within like a year. It was the craziest, like quickest, most amazing process. So.
And I think it sounds to me like it's better to go a little too far than it is not enough.
It's
right?
so true.
Yeah.
Even when I talk to other people about like this is what you need to follow up and really make connections, I use her as an example. I don't even use myself. I'm like, well, I did this, and I'm like, no, I do everything wrong, but she did everything right when it comes to like really making a full connection with somebody.
Great, great.
Yeah.
Hey, Rachel, could you talk a little bit about how's the work divvied up? Could you talk to that?
Well, Sara is our fearless leader.
Okay.
And then Jessica is studio manager, so she basically keeps the studio running full steam ahead. She's the one talking to clients and helping them design their albums, and then I'm the social media manager, so I'm submitting work to blogs and publications and the blogging and the Instagram and the Facebook and all of that. So, and then we all are shooting weddings equally.
Okay.
So that's how that works.
Great.
Yeah.
And sometimes someone is the lead?
Yeah, so our clients hire us individually. So they hire either me, Jessica, or Rachel. If, like, say, if I have a wedding and Jessica's not booked, she'll come and second shoot with me, or Rachel will come second shoot with me. So we will really try to work together as much as possible. But there's several dates this year that all three of us are booked.
Okay.
So we have second shooters as well. We're doing a second shooter training when we get back, just to run through with our other girls. So I guess I'm kind of mentioning this, but we're an all-female team.
Okay.
So even really our second shooters are female as well.
Okay.
It's part of really our branding and our structure, and I really thought that would be a really good way to go. As we kind of built it out, it just felt very feminine, and it felt like that kind of energy was moving forward. So it's good. We're Charlie's Angels.
I love that, right? And
you could be Charlie.
Oh, I love that.
I finally found a Charlie.
And I can just phone in like Charlie, right? If you ever want me to, call me in for a meeting anytime. I'll phone in. I'll do a quick intro for you.
Okay, great.
So you were just talking a little bit about what you're looking for with second shooters.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about aesthetic.
Okay.
Not only the aesthetic that you three, all follow, but also how do you handle critiquing?
Okay. So we're all really good communicating back and forth, like what we thought worked or what we thought didn't. The girls give me feedback, I give them feedback. On shoots, we'll really communicate that too. We always go an hour before we need to start shooting and just walk around and talk about shots and talk about who's going to do what, and also really give each other ideas. So that's a big part of it. Okay. And then after a wedding, we always debrief, go over things, show what worked, show what didn't work, and talk about what we could have done better and maybe some of the challenges we had and how we're going to fix that for next time.
Okay. It's really nice having a team to work with, like, on a consistent basis too, because even though we have a similar style, we have different things that make us too. Right. And so we push each other creatively that way too.
Cool. So you each have your signature shots, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Jessica's the ring.
Okay, cool. Yeah, what are they? Good.
She's the rings for sure. Like the ring, if she's there and there are rings, she will be shooting them.
Yeah, they just hand them over.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want to touch them.
You go.
Yeah. Rachel's more of the romantic, so she does like beautiful romantic images. She shoots a lot of boudoir on the side as well, so she does, as we've been talking about in the class.
Yep.
So she's got that really soft, sensual, beautiful, feminine side that comes through in her photos. I don't know what mine is.
Yours is just epic.
I think that's a great word. I would totally agree, because I saw like the giraffe.
Yeah.
I mean, and the cheetah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's epic work. That is, it takes it a little bit above to that next level.
And it's so amazing to be on a team with all three of us shooting one wedding. The client gets all of that, the best of each of us.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so amazing.
I know.
And how much do you I mean, I imagine you must sell, hey, I'm not bringing a second shooter, I'm bringing another photographer. Is that part of the conversation?
We're actually talking about offering that as an option, but it would cost more.
Okay.
Because right now, I don't want to block her off for a date by saying she's going to be with me, and vice versa, so that they can book their own weddings.
Gotcha.
So we are looking at offering that as an option that they can block us both.
I'm glad I asked, so that'll be a little different financially.
Well, and another interesting thing we just talked about, we're talking to a videographer about bringing a female videographer on the team as well. I know,
so
which we're really excited.
A little bit of a fusion product there.
She'll be doing the video as a separate option, and we'll be able to kind of work with her as our team member, just like we do with us, and making sure that we're coordinating the shots and building all of that together for just a really easy flow throughout the day and working as a team. So that would be really cool too.
Awesome. Now, when I look at the work, I feel like it's less photojournalism than it is really covering the event. Is that correct?
So
or it's a little bit of both?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Great.
In the stuff you see in our portfolio, I think you'll see more of our posed stuff, or more of the stuff that we're more interactive with.
Okay.
But we do a ton of photojournalism on the day too.
That's the great thing about having two of us there, is because when one's doing the posing, the second's really concentrating on those in-between moments. Like when we put our camera down, that's when the couple really gets laughy and giggly, and that's when the second shooter gets that. So.
And does the main shooter, if you will, always shoot the bride beforehand, or does it sometimes?
It's almost always the main shooter that's shooting the bride alone, but there are times, like Rachel and I just shot a wedding together last weekend. The groom was ready, we had finished, the bride was running behind a little bit, so I ran in, we both shot the bride. So it just depends on how the flow of the day is going, but typically the main shooter is on the bride, and the second shooter, the groom gets the second shooter. He could care less anyway.
Yeah,
right?
he can care less. Exactly.
And then when it's us, it's great.
For the bride and groom shots too, like after the ceremony or after the first look, we switch off and take turns. So Sarah will be lead, and then I can second shoot, but also think of the next shot. So we're always kind of anticipating ahead and planning ahead and using our own creativity to create the next shot.
Fantastic. All right, one last question before we head into our class.
Yeah.
Is 3 a magic number?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How come?
We've talked about adding more. There's so many great females out there with such great personalities that we would love to somehow integrate into our workflow. But we have 2 interns right now who are both fantastic, and we love them. So on the back end, our team can definitely continue to grow. But on the front end, I really just feel like 3 is the right number. Anything beyond that, people they can't focus enough on each individual person. It becomes overwhelming. So I really feel like 3 is the magic number.
Just like Charlie's Angels.
Right?
I love it. All right.
And we're not allowed to change our hair colors.
Perfect.
It's in the contract.
Awesome. Well, you guys, thank you so much. It's awesome having you guys here.
Thank
Sarah,
you.
we're gonna get this thing started. So thank you guys so much.